Hey guys, today welcome to another video. Today guys, we're going to talk about something that I think is super interesting. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hopefully it'll go along with the channel very well. We do a lot about technology and that kind of stuff. So today guys, we're going to be talking about quantum computing. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's jump right into it. Now, before we get into quantum computing, we actually need to talk about mechanical computing for a second, because you need to have a good basis, and I want to make sure you guys have that, you know? So when it comes to mechanical computing, the smallest transfer of values and information is called a transistor. Now, a transistor was actually created in the 1960s, and this is one of the oldest forms of technology and computers that are still used today as one of the key factors in its operations. Now, a transistor is basically a switch, an on and off, a true or false, and that's how it works. Either will let electricity through or not let electricity through, and if it does not let electricity through, then it lets out a value of 0, and then if it does, then it puts out a value of 1. And these are called bits. That value is called a bit. Now, you can combine a bunch of transistors to create a logic gate, such as an AND or OR statement. And then you can combine a bunch of logic gates to create a basic module, and so forth, to create a circuit chip. Now, when it comes to transistors, they are so small. It's so hard to even understand how small they are. Kind of like astrophysics, it's so small that it's hard to understand just how small it is. So, a CPU transistor is about 14 nanometers. 14 nanometers. That's smaller than a lot of the human cells in our body. That is goddamn small. Then, in NVIDIA's new Pascal video card, it's actually 16 nanometers, which is common. Typically, video cards are slightly larger, have slightly larger transistors. But, here's when you run into a problem. It's so small because you want to get as many transistors, because that increases the speed. The more transistors you have, the faster the chip will run, obviously. So, you want to get as many as those in a certain area as possible, right? But when you get to a certain level, then you run into a huge problem. It's called quantum physics. Because at the quantum level, physics does not perform and does not appear to be the same as at our level of being, right? So when you get to quantum level of physics, then you run into a problem called quantum tunneling. And this is when a photon or whatever can transfer between objects through another object, because at that level it just simply, these molecules, these particles do not follow the regular laws of physics. So that energy, that electricity running through this transistor, well, guess what? It goes right through that wall that's stopping it from continuing. And when you get into that problem, well, then there's no way, because it's giving a false positive to the computer, and it just boom, it fucks everything up, basically. Not literally boom, like it doesn't actually explode, but you know what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's gonna screw everything up, and yeah, so that's a huge problem when it comes to mechanical computing when it gets too small. Now, we are still at least 2 atoms wide when it comes to these, but we can't get that much smaller, and that's why performance over the last couple of years, increasing performance each year, is getting less and less, because they're trying to fit as many as they can in there without it just fucking up, basically, you know. So you can't do that much more, and that's why progression slowed so much. Back 5 years ago, we were coming out with shit, you know. We were gaining ground really quickly. 20 years ago, we were coming out so fast. We were getting so much better every new generation of CPU and all. So, you know, that's basically why we've slowed down in increasing the speed of a CPU or GPU. Yes. So we're actually going to start talking about quantum computing now. Now, the best way to think about quantum computing, it's all about an atom with photons circling around it. Now, the best way to think about it is, think about a ball. That's your atom. Now, think about other smaller balls rotating around that ball. Think about if one's rotating around it perfectly horizontally. That's a 1. And then it circling perfectly vertically around it. That's a 0. So those are your 2 values. But the problem with that is, not all photons are going to be rotating perfectly. So you have any value between 1 and 0. And if you guys know anything about math, that's an infinite number of locations. So basically, I'm saying that that photon can be any position. An infinite amount of positions. And that's called a qubit. That's what the output of a quantum computer is. of a quantum, like that's what the output of one of these would be. It's called a qubit, a quantum bit. Similar to why I said that you should remember that a transistor puts out a bit of 1 or 0. A photon will put out a qubit of either 1 or 0. And this is called superpositioning, where it's going to be in any position in between 0 and 1, and that's called superpositioning. And then when it goes through that filter, then it has to choose between 0 and 1, and that's the qubit, is that 0 or 1. It's really confusing. I kind of explained it confusing, but hopefully you guys understand. Go back and look at it again if you guys didn't get it. But yeah, so basically you have this qubit rotating, right? And it's called a superposition because it's anywhere from 0 to 1, but that's an infinite number of numbers in between those two numbers, so it can be an infinite amount of places. And then it goes through this filter and it creates a qubit of either 1 or 0. That's basically the way to put it. Now this is crazy amazing. This is so advanced for our technology, and this is just this is so much potential to it that it's just amazing, because of the fact that say I'm gonna show an example, okay? So when you have regular transistors, say you have 4 bits, right? 4 bits from a regular mechanical computer with regular transistors. Well, you got 4, right? So you got 2 different values, right? So 2 different values, but you got 4 of them. So it's 4 to the second power, right? So you have 4 to the second power. See, so you have 16 then, right? So you have 16 different possibilities. But the problem with a mechanical computer is that you can only use one of those possibilities at one time. But with a quantum computer with superpositioning, say you have 4 qubits and you got 2 different possibilities. Well, guess what? You have 16 different possibilities, possible values, but at the same time, you can be putting out all of those at the same time. It can be any one of those, and that's just crazy. It saves a lot of space, and it also makes it a lot more effective in the long run. It's just amazing, and that's where a quantum computing is really gonna be able to strive. Is that this is really going through. Superpositioning is the key to the future of quantum computing. Now, let's talk a little bit about entanglement. Now, basically what entanglement is that a qubit is basically entangled with another qubit, right? So these qubits are attached, but this is before they go through the filter, right? So these are currently called just photons. So they're just photons right now, right? And they're rotating the atom, but they're connected, and it doesn't matter how far away they are. See, so say you can figure out what one photon is. You send that one through the filter. Say it's a 1. Then you'll be able to figure out what the other one is without having to actually directly look at it. Does that make any sense? You'll be able to predict what the other ones look like from that one through entanglement, which is just amazing, and there's so much potential there, especially because it sets off a keychain, not a keychain effect, sets off a domino effect where you can see all of them, and it's just amazing. And that's just how that works, honestly. It's just honestly fucking amazing, and I'm probably not giving it the credit that it deserves, but it's just, this is all so amazing, and yeah. So the last thing we're going to talk about, and this is just hard for me to even wrap my mind about it, so if I say something wrong, then I am super sorry, guys, but this is something that's really giving me a headache. It's just hard for me to explain properly, and that's called quantum manipulation. Now, this is basically you setting up basic modules and other forms of actual more advanced calculations and putting out more advanced values, basically like logic gates and basic modules. See, so say you have so you use quantum manipulation, right? See, so this basically combines everything that we just talked about. So say you have this atom, right? So you have this, so you send that photon through a quantum gate, and this quantum gate will be able to determine whether or not this is even a possibility as a possible outcome. And if it's not a possible outcome, then it's going to redirect it into another superposition, so then it will not actually send it into a qubit until the very end of the calculation, which will save time, first of all, and second of all, it will make it so some of the possibilities outcomes will not even be checked because they know for sure that they're not going to be there. So basically, you're checking stuff off your checklist on your way there, saying, oh, it can't be that way, it can't be that one. So it saves a lot of time when you're going through and you're reading these when you're processing this, right? So you get that. And it's different than a regular mechanical computer, because a regular mechanical computer can't check these off, right? So they have to go through every single one. So say you got 20, right? So say a quantum computer can cut off 5 of those, so you only have to go through 16 of them, right? Instead of having to go through all 20. So that makes it so it's so much faster than a mechanical computer. So yeah. that's about it for quantum computing, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode, okay? If that's, of course, if you guys want me to do another educational video, I can talk about pretty much anything, guys. I can talk about CPUs, GPUs, G-Sync, whatever you guys want me to talk about, SLI, whatever, I can tell you whatever you want to know about this stuff, because this is basically what I love to do. I love learning about this stuff, so me learning about this and telling you about this is just a really, really fun experience for me. So if you guys want to learn anything, then make sure to leave a comment down below telling me what you guys want to learn about. I'll see you guys in the next video. I tried my best to explain quantum computing to you, but it's hard for a lot of people to even comprehend what it really is and how it works. I feel like I'm actually pretty decent at comprehending it, but of course I'm only a freshman in high school, so I only know a limited amount. So if someone's out there said that's like a quantum physicist or a physicist or anything like that, then well, correct me. Feel free to correct me in the comment section below. Tell me that I'm fucking wrong and shit. But yeah, thank you. I tried my best. See you guys in the next video. Bye.